I wonder which box will do better. Customer wrapped rolls or machine wrapped rolls? Let's find out. So drastic measures calls for drastic times. I did a little bank hopping today since my branches aren't really willing to give me full boxes of coins. Some are still willing to do that, but most of them cannot or will not. But at the end of the day, I did some bank hopping and we got some nickels. Let me flip the camera around and show you. So I had to improvise. I forgot to bring some empty nickel boxes, but I was able to go to about 5 different branches and get a whole bunch of nickels. I've got $200 in nickels here, so I'll be able to use some of my empty nickel boxes. I'll stuff these bad boys in there. I don't know if I have a perfect mix of customer to bank wrapped. There are a lot more bank wrapped at the bottom underneath these, but I think I have mostly customer wrapped. At the end of the day, I'll get these into 2 different boxes and we'll do a bank wrapped and machine wrapped nickel hunt. Let's get her done. We have got those nickel rolls put into boxes. Now I'll tell you, I had 4 more customer wrapped than machine wrapped. So we had 54 customer wrapped and 46 machine wrapped. I went ahead and went to another branch and I did get 4 more machine wrapped rolls to make that a complete box. And so now we have 50 and 50. So I figured I would do a 2-box nickel hunt. I put all of these rolls in the front that are fresh wrappers, if you will. When you do custom wrapped rolls, you never know if you're just getting someone's discards. And because there's a lot of these types in the front, man, I hope I don't get a lot of returns. Either way, it's a 2-box hunt, so whether or not we get someone's returns in these or not, we are going to be able to hunt 100 rolls. I'm going to kick it off with the customer wraps because this is kind of the unknown. It could be a whole bunch of good rolls. It could be a whole bunch of bad rolls. We won't know until we get into them. I'm excited about some of the older style rolls, but a lot of people recycle different rolls anyway, so you never know. As a reminder, I'll be using my nickel coin roll hunting mat today just to reference and to keep the coins safe while I hunt and to place coins on top as I find them, if I find them. I'll also be using my microscope today so that I can view up close and personal any coins that may be a variety. Now that we've set the table and I've talked a lot, let's kick it off. Roll 1 of the customer wrapped rolls box. We're on roll 5 of the customer wrapped rolls, and all we have found so far is a 1959 Denver, but we did find our first 40s and it has been flattened with damage, so I'm still not sure that these aren't someone's rejects. It's nice seeing a 40s, but in that condition it wouldn't have probably been kept by most. Roll 6, 1941, Philadelphia. We're on roll 13 of the customer wrapped, and I'm not entirely sure, but I think, unless it's just a really shiny 1963 Philadelphia, this could be a proof. In 1964 and earlier, Philadelphia struck proof coins, and this has a proof-like finish. Obviously no cameo, but that's not uncommon for coins struck prior to 1973. Either way, I will hold on to it. It's still a very nice coin. Matter of fact, maybe it's not a proof because those steps would likely be in better shape, but the coin is worn. So based on the steps on the reverse, maybe it is not, but it's still a very shiny, proof-like, beautiful 1963. Roll 14, another 1941, Philadelphia. Roll 17, another 1941. I think that's a 41S this time. It is. Roll 19, and we're getting to the end of those newer wrapped rolls, but we did find another 41. 41P. Roll 25 is going to yield a 1946 from Philly. 1 year off silver. Roll 30 is going to give us another 40s nickel, and this one is a pretty beat up 1949. I think that says D. And it does. but it's going to be hard to check for the D over S with that damage around the mint mark. Looks a little funny, but I don't think it's a D over S, and the coin is pretty trashed anyway. Still another find. We'll find it at home, and we'll get back to the hunt. Roll 32 is going to yield a 1948 Philadelphia. Roll 33 is an interesting roll. I just dumped it out, and it looks like there's some older Jeffersons in here. I don't see any of the newer design, so we'll just kind of run through it. That's a 59, a 41, a 54, a 64. So it looks like this roll is going to have some older nickels. I don't know if somebody was storing what they thought were better than 1965, like they thought they might have been silver or something, but it looks like there's going to be a lot of 1964 and older nickels in here. So let me run through it, save you guys some time. Yeah, and if there's anything that's a variety or a war nickel or something like that, I'll let you know. So a quick roll recap. All those are 60 through 64. We did have two 1940s, two 1941s, two 1952s, a 53, two 54s. One was a P, the other one is a D. There is a 54S over D and a D over D, but that's not either of them. We did get a 57, three 58s, and a 59. So definitely an older roll, but nothing really that awesome, although it'll make the board look good. Unfortunately, there's no more rolls just like that, but we have a couple of oddities coming up next. We're on roll number 36. It's one of those remaining oddities. I just dumped it into my hand, and once again, looks like we got some old nickels, and it looks like we might have a silver one in there as well. And we will. I can tell by the look. 1942S. So we did get a silver war nickel in there. And again, it looks like we're going to have some of that same stuff. No, there's some 70s in here. All right, let me run through this roll and give you a recap, but definitely older nickels, none of the newer design. So in that roll, they were all 60s and 70s. These were the best of the bunch. A beautiful 76, well, a couple of them, Philadelphia and Denver. Beautiful 77D and a beautiful 78D. And there's almost full steps on these other two. Pretty nice overall. These were decent in condition as well. Probably not keepers. I'll probably keep those and compare them to my album just in case. Maybe go through it one more time. There's a couple of other nice, decent coins that we'll sort through, but nothing other than that war nickel, which I will take, of course. Wonder if that one's got anything cool in it. Cracked open that roll, and once again, we've got a bunch of 64s, and I am seeing some older Jeffersons as well. I didn't see anything else, and there's a couple of newer ones at the end, maybe to fill it back up. Let me run through it, give you a roll recap on that roll too. So I went through the roll, and as expected, a few earlier Jeffersons. Everything else was in the 60s. We did get a 1940, a 1948, a couple of 54 Denvers, three 57s, a 58, and a 59. We'll add them to the ever-growing board and continue the hunt. Roll 39, another 40s nickel, 1948. Looks like we're getting back to normalcy now, but we still got 11 rolls left. Roll 44, and it always amazes me that somebody could hand wrap coins, and I get missing a silver or maybe a variety or key date if you don't know what you're looking for. But how do you not notice a buffalo nickel when you're wrapping coins? I don't think there's a mint mark on this coin. No, I don't see a mint mark. So it's a Philadelphia buffalo nickel, and it is in pretty poor condition, but it might have a date that I can see. Let's just put it under the scope anyway. It's one of those iffy ones. This is definitely going to be a 2, I believe. And this one looks like it's a 4 based on this hook here. Of course, from distance, it looks like it could be a 3, but I don't think that this is going to be a 3. I think that's a 1924. This is probably just some damage since it has some raised damaged elements all across the date. I think this is going to be a 1924. Either way, even if it was a 23 or a 24 in this condition, it's only about $1 at best. We'll take it. A buffalo nickel found in customer wrap rolls as well as a silver war nickel. Last roll of the customer wrap box, and we do have another find. It's a corroded 1941D. Same roll, and at the end of it, a 1947 Philadelphia. I think that'll do it. I'll be back with the wrap up. So we finished the customer wrapped rolls box, and it was a good box. 25 in the 50s, 14 in the 40s. We did find an 09 minted in Denver. We also kept aside a few of the nicer coins. You guys have already seen them. And the 2 finds of the box, a 1924 Buffalo nickel and a 1942S War nickel. Wasn't expecting those. I'll take them. Now, the box was made by about 3 or 4 of those customer rolls that had the majority of the finds in them. And other than a few corroded coins and a few common dates in lesser condition, that's about all we had. But at the end of the day, bank hopping for customer wrap rolls, I'll take what we got. And we still have 50 more machine wrap rolls picked up from 5 or 6 different banks as well. I'm going to clear this away so that we can keep the finds separate, but I will be keeping out the better finds to the side just so I can include them in the final 2-box wrap up. I'll be back when we get our first find in the machine box. Roll 51 of the hunt, or 1 of the bank wrapped rolls box, and we are off and running. We have a 1941 Philadelphia. Roll number 9, our second find, a 1947 Philly. We're on roll 37. This has been a really ho-hum box, just a handful of 40s and 50s nickels, but at least we got something exciting, a Canadian Ender. Let's see if there's anything else with it. That Canadian Ender is a 1988, so it's not even 99% nickel, but it's still a find. Well, I'm on roll 46, and this was about to be the worst nickel box I have ever hunted. Now, mind you, it was assembled and not a complete on its own freestanding nickel box, but it's been terrible. As I dumped this roll out, I noticed I had a green edge, and it's looking pretty promising. And we do have another war nickel. And this one is a 43S. And just for sake of funsies, I will check it for any doubling, which I don't see. But I can't get mad at that. We do have another war nickel that's 2 in 2 boxes. And even though this box is very light on the finds, that's going to help a lot. Roll 47 is going to answer the call and give us another 40s nickel, a 1941 Philly. Well, the second box is hunted, and I will continue to say that was one of the lightest finds box I have hunted in a long time. We only got 8 in the 50s and 3 in the 40s. Now, it doesn't include the war nickel, which I'll get to, but we also found a Canadian that's pretty beat up, 1988, 109D, and a beautiful 1970S, and that's a regular strike. And I did check it for full steps. It does not have them because a 1970S regular strike full steps nickel is definitely going to fetch a premium, but we don't have it. The find of that box, a 1943 San Francisco war nickel, 35% silver. I know we're light on the finds in the second box, but hopefully you enjoyed this 2-box hunt. It's never a bad thing adding silver to your stack and scoring a buffalo to boot. If you enjoyed it, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. And as always, everyone, happy hunting, and thanks for watching. A few more silver coins to the 2020 silver jar.